Hi guys, hello and welcome to Incepted Gaming. If you're new to my channel, click like, click the subscribe button and put a note in the comments about the RTS and simulation games you like to play. In this episode, we're playing Wargame. This is part 4, Flugplatz Ulstedt 1.0.
Negotiations having no chance of success anymore, the USSR and the Warsaw Pact enter the conflict. But NATO relies on the Anglo-German offensive underway to surround the 8th Soviet Guards Army before taking action. In a pincer movement, the 1st German and British Corps on one side and the 7th US Corps on the other flank the Guards and link up in front of Halle. A full tank battalion of the NVA is approaching on our right flank from
Ulstedt is a real
Our
airport in
intelligence
Germany.
services are also reporting an airmobile infantry battalion at Ulstedt with support helicopters and vehicles. The Soviets have evacuated their planes, but they do not intend to hand this base to us without a fight. We'll have to fight to take each village and strongpoint on the axis of advance we'll have chosen.
Yep, and on this level, they do have an awful lot of tanks. A typical Soviet doctrine of tank rushes. So I'm going to set up my defences here first. I'm going to put in some chieftain tanks just in my main defensive line there. Just because chieftains are the most defensive tanks I've got available to me. They're a little bit slower than the German leopards, but yeah, they are quite an asset in a defensive position. So definitely the best available that I have. Some of the enemy tanks include T-64s, which are very, very good tanks, and at this point in history were quite a major threat for NATO tanks, to be honest. And also they have T-72s, which is also quite a good tank as well. So things are definitely heating up. The enemies are getting more difficult. There are some other tanks as well, some T-55s, which aren't too bad, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to put in some recon units in this position. I'm putting in Gazelle recon units because they have exceptional optics and I want the best possible opportunity to spot my enemy coming for me, as I do already. I'm going to put some anti-air guns as well, just in case I'm facing helicopters. As you can see there, the base is already attacking targets coming for me. Already got quite a large rush of tanks coming my way. I haven't even finished setting up all my defences yet, but anyway, there we go. I've also got a couple of Cobra gunships that are already getting to me at the beginning of the game, so that's handy. So yeah, I need to nail them with everything I have. Also, I discovered a while ago that a little unit of Scorpion light tanks are quite formidable, to be fair. You put 4 of them together, they can take on some quite heavier units quite easily, to be honest. To my surprise, they're actually a pretty good cheap light number to put out there, especially en masse. Not as good as a main battle tank, but you know, at a pinch they can do quite some damage. Okay, so on the right hand side here where the bit of forest is, I'm putting in some units that I'm also going to use as some offensive units later on. Okay, so my Gepards are moving up into position. I can't remember on this level if they do send helicopters my way, but I'm just going to put them there more as a backup than anything else. Near the supply yards. I've also got artillery on this level as well. So it's the first time in the game you get some friendly artillery, which is quite handy. Okay, let's move the Gepards. I'm going to leave those there. Going to move my Recon Scorpion tanks forward. I mean, they only have a 75mm gun, but at a pinch, or 76mm, I think it might be, but at a pinch, can be quite effective. Also going to back my tanks up with a couple of striker units on either side of the base area. I'll put a couple in the forest there as well. Strikers are very lightly armoured, but they do have decent anti-tank weapons with a very long range. I'm also going to put in some Marder anti-tank gun units in there as well. The 105mm guns are quite powerful. Again, they are quite a light vehicle, but they have a quite decent tank for a period of time. 105mm gun was quite decent in 1975. Some T-72s coming down. As I said, they are quite a threat, so I'm a bit wary of them. I'm going to add some couple of strikers to the left-hand side of the map here. Just put a couple of strikers in the tree line.
Einsatzbereit, Kommandant. Wir sind unterwegs.
Okay, I'm going to move those units across to the bush on the far right-hand side by the bridge, because they are going to go ahead and conquer the map on the right-hand side over there, which is currently out of view on the screen. I'm also going to send in some decent troops, so I'm going to put in a couple of SES troops and a couple of paratroopers to back them up. Okay, got another complement of vehicles coming down towards me. These look like UAZs with anti-tank rifles, so they should be quite easy to pick off if I pick them off at distance.
Warum muss immer ich ran?
Just waiting for them to come in range of my tanks there. Sorry, tank destroyers, even my 105mm. There we go, there you're getting picked up. Some strikers as well. For those of you who don't know, Striker is part of the British CVRT family, which stands for Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Tract. Good job I'm still within supply, and obviously I have some supply trucks behind those forgings there. Which is a good thing to be honest. I've already hit one of the units by the looks of it, they're taking some damage. So far they're taking more damage than me, which is always the main thing. Especially as the Warsaw Pact forces do rely very heavily on tanks.
The only good enemy is the dead one.
The Soviets love the tank rushes. I really don't try.
Don't have any air defense.
Got T-55s and T-62s in there. T-55s not really much of a threat. T-62s aren't bad. But at this point in the game, the main threat really comes from T-64s and T-72s. Yeah, for some reason at this point in the Cold War, the Soviets had a doctrine of developing sort of two types of tanks at the same time. One would be quite a very high quality, expensive tank. Another version would be, more sort of cheaper and mass produced. That's kind of how it works out really. So the T-62 is like a cheaper sort of version, a mass-produced version of a T-64. The T-64s being the better. Same thing later on as well. The T-80 was like the very high-quality, expensive tank, and the T-72 was more the cheaper, mass-produced kind of version. So I don't know why the Soviets did that, but I think it's just because they like to build huge numbers of tanks and couldn't necessarily afford to build all of them to be the highest quality, so they build some quite decent top quality ones at an expensive cost, and then build an absolute shed load of cheaper ones mass produced, just like World War II style with the T-34, and just swamp the enemy as best as possible. As a result, to this day, even now, Russia does have the largest tank army in the world, more tanks than anyone else. Okay, so there we go, there's my Leopards now engaging the T-55s across the river there. Going to move across my supply Chinook, and also shortly we'll be moving across my SAS and paratroopers. I think I'm going to put in my logistics unit there, my command post vehicle there. I might put that in there just to capture that, to give me my logistics supply chain a little bit shorter distance. One problem with this level though, because you do need to employ quite a lot of units, obviously you have to buy them, with your resource points, and once you've spent a fair few like I have, it does take a while early in the game for those points to reaccumulate. So you can see in the top left hand corner there, my points is only like 19, 20s at the moment, so yeah, it's quite a slow process at the early game, I'm afraid, on this level. But anyway, I'll preoccupy myself. Now my plan here is to basically conquer the entire right hand side of the map on the right hand side of the bridge. That is my objective at this point. It's not specifically a game objective, but I do want to prevent any forces coming across from the right hand side later on, so that's what I'm going to do. Just wait for my command unit to get in place there. Okay, I've got enemy movement on top of that hill there. Probably tanks of some description. T-62s. They should be relatively easy to pick up between my Leopards and my Scorpions. Essentially I've got 4 main battle tanks and 4 light tanks shooting 3 T-62s, so that should be really good. I do like on this game as well that if you click on an enemy, you see the enemy units health and everything, which is always handy to know. Okay, so the T-62s are gone. But my Leopards may have taken some damage. I need to scout ahead top of the hill as well, which I'll do shortly. Okay, I've got 4 enemy BMPs coming down towards my main base, so I'm going to take those on.
We'll pass on your regards, sir.
BMPs can be quite a threat as well, mainly because they carry a long range anti-tank missile. So if you get hit with that, it's game over. Game over for the unit that's attacked it, so unleash hell on the BMPs. I don't want to give them a chance to fire their tank missiles up. To the left. For an old game, the details, in particular the vehicles, are still pretty good, to be fair. My Cobra gunship laying in hell there. Okay, 1 left. Okay, got some enemy infantry coming down as well. But they shouldn't be a problem because they just have RPG-7s as their main anti-tank and stroke anti-vehicle weapon. So I've got to get within 700 meters to use that, which is not a problem.
Ready, sir. Einsatzbereit, Kommandant.
Okay, well, while my troops are dealing with the infantry there and that remaining BMP, when it comes back into range, I'm considering starting my move on the right hand side of the map there.
Alles, was durch die Luft fliegt, wird von uns erledigt. Natürlich, Kommandant. Die Welt besteht aus 2 Arten von Menschen.
I might actually bring my Gepards a bit further forward as well. Because although Gepards are mainly anti-aircraft units, they're amazing light vehicles and also infantry. They make mincemeat out of most things really, apart from main battle tanks of course. Okay, oops, right. So I've got some T-62s and T-64As. Okay, T-64 is a bit of a threat. So yeah, my Leopards and my Scorpions are under attack there. It's also part of the reason why it's good actually that I employed Scorpions as well as Leopards. Because although not as effective as Leopards, they do kind of provide a bit of fairly decent backup. Scorpions onto the T-64s as well, because like I say, T-64s at this point in history were quite a serious threat to NATO tanks. They also had explosive reactive armour as well, which I believe were the first, certainly the first Soviet vehicles to ever use explosive reactive armour. I don't know if NATO had that at this time, maybe they did, but it was a bit of a game changer on the Soviet front. Let's go for my Chinook. I'm going to have to move my Chinook out of there. As soon as he gets airborne, then the tank will cease firing on him.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Kommandant? Ammo, fuel, spare parts? You'd be blind without that. Closing on them, sir.
Okay, so my Leopards are turning tail and running, wasn't good. So I'm going to move my Scorpions nice and close and hopefully they do okay.
Roger out.
Oh, okay. 4 Scorpions have just knocked out one of the T-64s.
Spotted something? Sneaking in.
And there we go, T-64s are gone. Fair play to my Scorpions. Glad I had them now for sure. Right, so now I can move my Chinook back into play somewhere. Okay, the enemy's got a couple of command vehicles ahead. I don't want my Leopards to stray too close to the town either, because they more than likely have infantry in the town, and if the tanks get close enough, my tanks will get blown away by infantry entrenched with anti-tank weapons and RPGs. Okay, I'm going to move my anti-tank gun unit forward a bit as well, take on that remaining BMP. So I've lost one of those earlier. Okay, so those guys are down to 3 instead of 4. Still within supply range, oh that's good.
Rücken auf Ziel 4.
Also I called up an extra Leopard earlier to replace the one I lost, so he's on the way there to join the forces across the bridge. And he's engaging the BMP as well, fantastic, that's what I need to see. Don't need to finish that BMP off earlier, don't want the BMP lingering around. And the BMP's gone excellent, right. I'm going to put those back into the forest there, into the edge of the forest. Time to unload my troops. Start moving them towards the town.
It always comes down to the infantryman and his rifle. They say the only good recce is a dead one. Grab the binoculars, Corporal.
Yeah, I'm going to use my Scorpions, I think, in a minute to take on the command vehicles. But I'm deliberately moving to the right hand side there to try and avoid being in range of anything hiding in the town.
Safety's off, people. We're going hunting.
Okay, so my command vehicle has captured that area, that's good.
Closing on them, sir.
That's one command vehicle gone. Also by capturing that command area just at the bottom of the screen there, it means I can build reinforcements to these guys pretty quick if needs be, which I think I may have to do.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Kommandant?
Right, just regroup my Leopards into a squad of 4. Better rearm, repair the Leopards actually, because one of them was quite badly damaged.
Orders call ready for your orders, sir.
Okay, I'm just going to bring up another Chinook and then send my other Chinook back to base to rearm itself.
Artillerieverleih der hässlichen Klopperei des Kampfes etwas Würde.
Right, I think I'm going to create a kind of line formation between my powers and my SAS. And also before I do that, there we go, I'm going to engage the town with some artillery, soften up any units that might be hiding in there, hopefully kill some infantry and things as well that might be lurking before I move in my own troops. I'm going to get my lynxes out of the way as well. Okay, so there goes my artillery, shelling the area of the town. It did say corrected shot as well, so probably because I've got scout units nearby, that will improve the accuracy of my artillery guns over time. Oh, some good hits in the town there, I like that. The arty coming in nice and squarely on top of the town. Hopefully getting rid of anything. Oh, something's just gone from an attack to one of my units at the base. T-72s. I believe I lost a striker then. Yeah, I think one of my strikers is gone. Okay, not to worry. It's pity it's gone, but it's not the end of the world. It's only one striker. One thing that's modelled quite well in this game, I believe, as well, is if enemy, even if they're quite poor quality infantry, have occupied a town, just like in real life, it is quite hard to take them on, even with superior troops, just because they are entrenched and dug in, and you don't know where they are. So like in real life, you know, even for sending in crack troops, it's not necessarily an easy thing to do just because they are dug in and you're not. Shots in there, I'll engage with SAS, Palace, SAS technical losses. I should be able to heal those. Okay, also with the power of video editing, I've added a little bit of time compression here and there as well, just to speed things up a little bit, because there was a few instances where, due to how long it takes to build up other units and things, it can take a little bit too long in my view. So yeah, there'll be times where I've done a bit of the whole magic of editing just to speed things up for us. So here we are then, got the town flanked there by scorpions and leopards. My infantry are going to push up shortly as well into the town, once they've repaired, at least that is. They are still repairing, taking their time. Right, time to push them into the town now, because there's probably more infantry in here somewhere as well, so I need to clear those out quite efficiently if I can. Oh, I just quickly spotted a unit flash up in the forest to the right hand side of town. I'm going to drop some arty on Foxtrot area as well, because there'll definitely be some infantry and things in there. Okay, there's a vehicle heading for that forest. I believe that is an artillery unit of some description. Okay, my troops in the town still haven't found any enemy, but I'm sure there's definitely got to be more in here. I'm going to sort of carefully pushing them up. Just edge my powers forward. Make them advance to contact if possible.
Need someone to infiltrate enemy lines? Yeah, Commandant.
At the same time, I'm going to move up the SAS. Let's see who runs into it. There we go. Hiding well low. A couple of shilkers into the forest on the back side. Scorpions taking that out personally.
Always comes down. I'm not at liberty to discuss previous missions.
Leopards. There's the infantry. made my empty forward nice and quick. Come on guys, take out those infantry there. Oh, I've lost a leopard. There's 2 leopards I've lost now in the game so far.
They say the only good recce is a dead one.
Alright, okay. So the air is cleared, okay, that's the main thing.
Mussten Sie es einfach aus.
Cost me a leopard and some infantry, but that town is now mine. I was surprised as well when my Scorpions took on the Shilkas, in that I thought the Shilka 23mm guns would have been more effective against my my light tanks, but not to worry. Going to bring up some Panzer Grenadiers now as well, because they have excellent range with their AT weapons. Okay, there's some T64s there, again, like I said earlier, quite a threat. I'm going to consider dropping some RT on them as well when I get a chance. Yeah, some more units hiding there as well. Okay, so just pushing my my tanks and everything forward now. I'm also going to bring up some Panzer Grenadiers, because the Panzer Grenadiers do have a nice long-ranged anti-tank weapon, so I'm definitely going to need that, I believe. Okay, there's some tanks hiding there, some T64s, quite a threat for my units. Going to start off with an artillery bombardment in that general area. And also just employing a bit of time compression here and there as well, just to speed things up a little bit. Okay, so there's the RT coming in now. Also, I wasn't able to bring up the Panzer Grenadiers when I wanted, just because I didn't have the resource points to be able to do so. As you know, I haven't really quite got enough. Okay, a bit more time compression here as well. So just laying artillery all around the general area. So those guys, those T64s are going to rout, which is good. Although preferably I would like them destroyed rather than just routed. So I'm going to move my supply vehicles into the central forest there. Keep the artillery going for a bit, and then engage them with the tanks. Hopefully there won't be too much by way of other units around. T64s. Okay, there's some more units, including Shilka there or two. Just need to knock them out. Okay, got some more T55s up near the supply depot as well. Okay, so there's quite a few infantry as well near those T64s. I mean, they're at good range to me anyway, so they won't be able to hit me from that distance. But I do need to play it a bit careful. Still laying with the artillery. Artillery is woefully inaccurate as always on this game. I don't know if in real life it is somewhat more accurate than that, but in this game it's always pretty poor, which is a shame. But it does help, it can be quite damaging to enemy morale. Okay, there's a Shilka there. Basically an anti-aircraft unit, an anti-aircraft tank I should say. Has 4 23mm machine guns instead of a normal cannon. Some what Schutzen needs to get rid of. Again, I'm glad I've got my Scorpion light tanks. They're quite effective, even though they are only very light. A small gun.
What is it you want now?
Which is good, but I do want to get rid of them completely, otherwise they'll rearm, repair from the supply depot. Some not such thing coming out into the forest there. Those up and engage those. Some of the battles on this game are quite epic, I do enjoy that, to be fair. The trouble is with that though, an entire level like the one I'm on can take a very, very long time indeed. So T-55's coming down from the top. Okay, those troops must be getting quite close because I believe that's actually one of my tank machine guns engaging. Bring up a helicopter now, bring up a Cobra. Just to back my tanks up because there's quite a few enemy tanks coming my way. And on paper my Leopards in particular are superior to these T-55s, but they're bringing them on en masse, which is always the Soviet kind of doctrine. I've lost a unit there. Of course, what doesn't help me is that they have supply as well. I'll then go bring up my Marauder's now with some Panzer Grenadiers, so I'm going to unload them on the edge of the forest. Because I think I'm going to have to pull these units back. Leopards are starting to take a bit of a battering. I'm going to get them out there soon. Although my Scorpions are doing well, they are only light, so they won't be able to take too much damage, to be fair. At least, oh, yeah, okay. I've lost a couple of Leopards in one go. Didn't want to do that. Okay, my gunship is turning the tide in my favour. Oh, more tanks coming down as well, including some T-64s, right. And they're going for my Scorpions. Yeah, my Scorpions definitely outmatched here. Okay, see about dropping some more RT in that region there. Okay, I've lost a Scorpion, which is not surprising. Oh, another one. So 2 Scorpions gone. I'm going to have to pull these guys back because, as I say, they are outmatched by main battle tanks. Even old tanks like T-55s are not designed to go up against them, really. Going to pull up my Chinook and also get it refueled and reloaded, and swap it out for my other Chinook, which is already fueled up and ready. Because my main plan now, although this is turning against me in this area, I want to hold my position if possible. Okay, so my Panzer Grenadiers getting into the fight, which is good. They should give me the edge. Trouble is though with infantry, you can't really use them in open territory against tanks and stuff, it's a bit stupid. But if you've got a nice forested area or a built up town, that's always a good idea. Right, where's my Chinook to rearm my units? Because I'm running out of tank missiles from my Grenadiers. And we've got 2 Scorpions which are not very effective against main battle tanks. I mean, they can do the job at a pinch, but I don't want to sustain combat with main battle tanks. Okay, so T-55 is gone, thankfully. Also, I'm going to bring up the Marder 1A1s that the Panzer Grenadiers run, because they have 20mm cannons. Again, not up to the job of a tank gun, but at a pinch they can do some damage. I'm going to bring up some regular infantry as well, just some Jaegers, to help clear out the town shortly. Now, some people might wonder why I've taken so much effort and time to go for objective Foxtrot over here. It's because, as you can see, it's a good reinforcement area for the main airbase, which is the main objective. I want to deny the enemy that objective completely, so by capturing this whole right hand side of the map, there will be no reinforcement by the enemy on this side of the bridge, which is basically what I want to prevent. So T-64 looks like he's going for the bridge, and the T-55 as well, so they've got a lot of armour all based in this area. Dispatch this now, because we don't want to face it later. Okay, so there's my last Leopard 184 gun there. happen. In terms of attrition, the enemy is losing a lot more units than I am, which is a good thing. The trouble is, on the NATO side, you do have a lot less tanks and everything. You tend to have better tanks available, but you have less of them. Okay, so my Armadas are just finishing off a couple of the enemy tanks, which is good. And they're firing from cover as well, which does give them a slight advantage. Okay, so there's the last T-55 there gone. Also as well, the fact they give me quite a stiff resistance in that area tells me that it's an objective worth taking, because the enemy wouldn't put that much resources into an area if it wasn't worth holding on to. So that is good for me, to be honest. It'll make my job easier later. Going to pull back some more units. Also doing a bit of time compression here as well, just to prepare. I need to bring some more units up to the front. Oh, T-64 came at me, but he's gone. Need to supply my units as well.
Zu Ihren Diensten, Kommandant. Zug ist in Formation und einsatzbereit. Auf die Beine, ihr Faust. Am Ende kommt ihr marschieren auf den Infanteristen und seid Gewehr.
Too close into the town though, just taken out by enemy infantry hiding in town. But if they're on the sort of outskirts, they can give fire support. Just need to creep my infantry forward. Right, there we go, there's some Mott Schutzen. Only 8 of them as well, so I'm guessing my artillery earlier killed a few of those for me. So it made my job slightly easier. But as I dug in, they are giving my guys quite a hard fight. And there's another bunch of them there as well. Okay. And there's a final 1 or 2 here trying to escape, but they got taken out by the M1A1s. Okay. So thank you for watching, guys. I will be continuing this level in the next video. I just thought today I would try a different way of how I produce these wargame videos, because it can be quite long, and try to condense them down. It doesn't always work very well when you're trying to speed it up continuously. So I thought I'd give it a go. Thanks for watching. Please click like, give me a subscribe, and put any notes in the comments about any particular RTS or simulation games you enjoy playing. Thank you very much indeed.